Hello, my name is Irmeli Pietilä, and I'm your guidance counselor for the first unit of your pedagogic studies, Identifying Competence and the Development Plan. For a week now, I've been sitting at home writing your study guide, and I felt that I'm in desperate need of some fresh air. So that's why instead of writing you instructions of how to submit the first assignment in this unit, I decided to come to this park and talk to you and give you instructions this way. We believe that this path is something that's a very personal thing. So each of you have a personal plan for how to carry out your studies. And that's why we, for a moment, stop to ponder what your own perception of vocational teaching is. The first part of this assignment 1A is read the curriculum carefully and consider the following questions. What kind of competence are vocational teachers expected to possess according to this curriculum? What do the competence areas described in this curriculum mean to you as a vocational teacher? Do you feel something essential is missing? And this is a very important question, because up to now this curriculum has been implemented in Finland. And it might be that the competence areas described don't apply to Sweden, not directly perhaps. So really try to be critical if you feel that there are things that are missing, that are very essential for your own work and are not covered at all in this curriculum. Then the next question is about the guidance counseling. How do you perceive the guidance counseling practices in the vocational teacher education program? And what issues in the competence areas and guidance counseling raise questions in your mind? That was the first part. And then you read the literature and you keep in mind the competence areas described in the curriculum and put up a stage for yourself in these studies. So the next task is identifying and analyzing one's own competence. How have you come to this point where you are now, when we are starting our trip to be vocational teachers? What's your current work sector? Are you already a teacher, or are you going through a transition from a teacher, from a craftsman or woman to teacher? Or is it so that you are just studying this in case you someday want to be a teacher? Tell me how you have come here. What studies have you had? Where did you study? Did you study in Sweden or in another country? Can you notice any differences in the approach to learning, for instance, in the different schools that you have attended? I also believe that it's not only the official studies and the work experience that decide how we are as teachers. We gain competencies elsewhere also. For instance, in our hobbies, if somebody is a trainer for a football team, he has gained a lot of good competencies that can be used as a vocational teacher. Even as being a mother or a father, you learn a lot. Or by blogging. I'm a true believer of sharing, and I feel that I've learned a lot in the blogging community. So it might be that you already have some competencies gained in networking on the internet. Describe those also, how they could benefit you as a teacher. Tell me what you are good at and where you feel you have to develop your skills and knowledge. And try to describe your identity as a teacher. It's different if you have been a teacher for a long time or if you have just started teaching. Because very many times we still cling to our old identity as a craftsman. And a transition from that point to vocational teacher can take years. It took me years before I actually could say that I'm a teacher, because I felt that I was more something else from my previous vocation. So describe that also. And then, from this starting point, try to vision what your goals are, where you want to go. And then, step by step, be more concrete. What are my motives, objectives, and expectations in regard to study and learning? What do I want to learn? And what do I want to learn more about? In what areas do I particularly want to deepen my knowledge? And how do my objectives match with the competence areas described in the curriculum? Those are questions that you should think about. Also the resources. Do you have time to do this? Does your personal life possess special pressure? And how you are going to make it happen? Where do you take the time to fulfill all the assignments? So your task is to write 2 stories. One is on the curriculum and one is on yourself. And where do you submit these stories? You could, of course, send essays to me, and then I could assess them and give you feedback. But I don't think that's a good way, because I want to have sharing take place in this program. So I think it's very important that you learn from each other. And that's why I've chosen that the first assignment you submit in your blog. And we'll give some more instructions on how you make your blog and how you write there. But that's the place. And one more thing about blogging. I think that it's a more democratic way, because a blogger is the host in his own blog. And that way he has more power. I'm just a casual visitor, and I give a comment, but I don't have the power. So let's see what happens. Thank you.